Hey everyone, Mr. Silbaugh here, and this is my review for the Unit 8 exam. This is going to go over what's on the test, as well as touch on the concepts that you need to be aware about in order to pass. So quickly about the test, it'll be available to you at 5 a.m. Wednesday. It'll automatically unlock. The password will be released at then as well. I'll probably email that out Tuesday evening so you have that, and when you're ready to go on Wednesday. You have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to do this. There are 23 multiple choice questions on this test. You have a 30-minute time limit to complete all of those questions. It's taken in our regular website. You have two attempts. The first one, if you don't score an 80% or higher, you can retake it, and it must be completed by Friday 4:10. Now, Friday is a holiday, so it is completely optional if you decide to take it. I can't force you to take it, but if you want to, that's totally your choice. But please know you have the day off, and if that's the only thing you do, please make that the only thing you do. Um, with the two attempts, as I said, you need to score an 80% or higher in order to qualify for the second attempt. If you score higher than an 80%, I'm not going to let you retake it for a second time. All right? So quickly, the key areas tested in this exam, the programming languages, some of the vocabulary terms that we talked about at the beginning of the unit, the concepts of server-side and client-side scripts, just in general, what are the concepts of them, server-side languages and client-side languages, the difference between the two of them, and what each one does is what will be tested here, as well as some of the types of server-side languages. Remember, we talked a lot about the different types. There's quite a few. DHTML and the DOM model, and APIs and databases will also be covered on this exam as well. So first, programming languages. Things that you need to know. You need to know the vocabulary terms. And the vocabulary terms that you need to know are interpreter, array, and variable. Interpreters are used for software to read and process code into text files. An array is a collection of variables in a series. And a variable is a set of files that you can refer to. So make sure you know these three vocabulary terms as they will be asked on the test. There's two things that you need to know about the concepts of server-side and client-side scripts. So in this category, it's just the general things that you need to know about the two of them together. And it's mostly related to JavaScript. But one thing you do need to know is both server-side and client-side scripts can both be used to develop web pages. It's not just use one or the other, you can use both. And also JavaScript is one of those that can be used both client-side and server-side. So server-side languages. In server-side languages, we talk frequently about the number of them, and that's why you need to know a few of them. First one is C#. You need to know that this is the primary competitor to Java. Java is used to make JSP and servlets. This was talked about on the server-side languages part of Java. Go or Golang, it's a useful server-side language. It shortens the production time and allows you to quickly create code for your website. Java is platform agnostic, which means it could be used on any platform. This is a benefit. You need to realize that it's a benefit to this. And lastly, Visual Basic is used for standalone applications and server-side web applications. These are all going to be asked on the quiz for this unit. Now let's switch over to client-side languages, and it's all about JavaScript. When we talked about client-side languages, we focused heavily on JavaScript. So JavaScript can be used to detect the browser type and version. That was one of the things that was talked about in this unit. JavaScript allows you to make a series of variables called an array. Notice that the question about array is on the quiz twice, so you need to make sure you understand what an array is. JavaScript has three objects built into it, and you need to know that they are the document, the navigator, and the array. One of the other focuses of this unit was APIs, which were your applications. The test only covers three of them. Geolocation, if you remember, that was used to determine a user's position, monitor the person's location, and provide updates to that location. Offline web applications allow users to work with websites and documents, even if they are offline and not connected to the internet. And then the Canvas API has two attributes, height and width. Databases was the other concept talked about in this unit. You need to know that business logic is used for the SQL coding. You need to create relationships with the data being stored. Remember, business logic is the in-between between the user side and the user accessing the content and the content that is actually stored on the database. You need to know that this two-tiered computing, this is the only question about the tiers that is on the test. Remember, in a two-tiered system, the client, the person who is providing the database, they manage the presentation and business logic side, while the server would host the data. And you also need to remember that the default administrative username for a Windows system assigned by an internet service provider is administrator. That is the default username. It's the only one on here that is asked on this quiz rather. So in summary, I will say that they have changed our quiz. It used to be 40 some questions, but with the recent update, they have reduced the number of questions being asked in this unit. There's only 23 this time around, so it's gone down significantly. Please make sure you study for this quiz. I'm also relying on you and whoever you are with to make sure you are taking this quiz fairly. You're not cheating on this. I'm relying on you to be faithful and to be truthful about your score. So please make sure you study and please make sure you take your time. If you have questions, please let me know.